Could he just answer the question if he said that the FBI headquarters, where they investigate cybercrime and terrorism, should be shut down and opened as a deep state?
Hey, Mr. Chair.
As a museum. Did he say that the headquarters should be shut down?
Mr. Chair.
I deserve an answer to that question. He is asking to be head of the FBI, and he said that their headquarters should be shut down. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Patel, I think you know that I have great respect for the men and women of the FBI, their mission, fidelity, bravery, integrity. I believe they deserve a director who respects their work and sacrifices, and they deserve a director who's focused on their mission. This is not about bingo cards or games. This is not about revenge. This is about the safety of our country and the people that work in the FBI. And the FBI runs on facts, it runs on truth. Truth matters, and without truth, the whole system breaks down. You said that Donald Trump has every right to tell the world that in 2020, 2016, and every other election in between was rigged by our government because they were. Yes or no, did you say that?
I don't have that statement in front of me. But
okay, that was from August 27th, 2023 Thrive Time show. I'll put it on the record. These claims made in that statement were rejected by courts, including by Republican judges. Is that correct?
I don't have enough of the facts in front of me to make that assessment.
I will put that statement on the record, but I think everyone in this committee, including the Republican members, knows that these statements were rejected by courts. You were asked about the police officers in the Capitol who testified in the January 6 hearings, and you accused them of lying. Is that correct or not correct?
I don't think that's accurate.
Okay, Joe Pack's podcast, March 2024, we'll put it on the record. I was there. The police officers were heroes that day.
Yes.
Did you post on your personal social media account in May of 2024, January 6th, never an insurrection, cowards in uniforms exposed. They broke the chain of command.
I believe you're referencing a post that was shown in part earlier. I don't have it in front of me.
You posted it, and it was on your account, and we will again put that out there once more as we go on. I don't want to lose any more time on this, but every one of these, there's a record of it, and you haven't answered. You promoted a COVID vaccine reversal or detox supplement. One scientist said, I quote, "None of these substances in any form would minimize side effects from a COVID-19 vaccine." That is preying on innocent people. Did you perform clinical trials before you made that claim?
I'm not a doctor, so no.
But you did promote this supplement and told people that it would reverse or mitigate the side effects from COVID vaccine.
Did I give people an opportunity to make an independent choice for what's best for their families? Yes.
You did that last year, correct?
I don't have it in front of me again, Senator.
Mr. Patel, the FBI tackles some of the most complex threats that we face: terrorists, hostile foreign powers, violent gangs, fentanyl, criminal organizations. Your mission, though, has been to go after people. I've looked at it. I've read this stuff. Yes or no? When Trump wins, did you say this? When Trump wins in 2024 and is in power in 2025, we can prosecute them, referring to Justice Department officials, for an actual RICO statute violation, for criminally organizing the United States government to break the law to rig presidential elections. Did you say that, yes or no?
Again, Senator, you're reading a partial statement, so I'm unable to fully respond.
Okay, again, we'll put it on the record. X22 report podcast 20, that is from, I'll get you the date, about a year ago. One of the names on your list was Bill Barr. Chairman Grassley has called him one of the most capable cabinet officials I've ever been able to vote for. Senator Graham has said, I have nothing but total respect and admiration for the job done by William Barr as Attorney General of the United States. Is Bill Barr on your list of whatever you want to call them, been referred to as an enemies list? You've called them deep state after serving his country as the Attorney General of the United States. Is he on your list because of a personal vendetta?
Well, it's not whatever we want to call it, Senator. With all due respect, it's not an enemies list. That is a total mischaracterization.
I asked you, I actually used the words you used for the list, which was deep state, right? That's what you put at the top.
It is a glossary
Against
in
the
the
Attorney
back.
General of the United States. Is it because of a personal vendetta that he's on the list? You're under oath.
I have no personal vendetta against Bill
Okay,
Barr.
he said about you, you would never be able to command the respect necessary to run the day-to-day operations of the Bureau. That was actually in writing in his book. He had virtually, about you, no experience that would qualify you to serve at the highest level of the world's preeminent law enforcement agency, and that your appointment, as noted by Senator Durbin as Deputy Director to the FBI, would happen over his dead body. Is it, yes or no, why you would put him on the list of deep state as a former Attorney General, Trump Attorney General of the United States, because he wouldn't break the law for Donald Trump? Is that why?
Absolutely not.
As you know, he repeatedly told the president in no uncertain terms that he did not see evidence of fraud that would have affected the outcome of the election. Did you say in February of 2021 that the election stuff was never my job and I stayed out of that stuff?
Again, I don't know what comment you're referring to, but I'm sure you're reading a piece of something.
You said it on Pushback on a podcast. Is it true, though, that in December of 2020, you reached out to the Trump acting Deputy Attorney General and asked him to investigate a conspiracy theory claiming that people in Italy had used military technology and satellites to remotely tamper with voting machines in the U.S. and switch votes for Trump from Trump to Biden? Is that true?
What was the date?
That was out of December of 2020.
I was Chief of Staff to the Department of Defense, so I don't believe that's accurate in any way.
Okay, that came out of testimony before Congress. I will give it to you. Have you referred to the media as the most powerful enemy of the United States that they have ever seen? Is that right?
Again, you're reading a quote. I take that you're reading it accurately.
CPAC 22324. You said we're going to come after the people in the media who lied about American citizens who helped Joe Biden rig the elections. We're going to come after you whether it's criminally or civilly. Is that something you said?
That's a partial statement of what I said.
Steve Bannon's podcast. You also said you would put the entire fake news mafia press corps on your list. Is that correct? Is that what you said?
I don't have that in front of me.
Benny Johnson's podcast, 8/21/23. You have said that the FBI, including today, you said that they remain utterly corrupt. This is an agency with agents who have taken down terrorists, taken down bank robbers, taken down crime. And you wrote that the FBI has become so thoroughly compromised that it will remain a threat to the people unless drastic measures are taken. Do you know that under Chris Wray's leadership, he took over at a very difficult time, we all know that, appointed by President Trump, that during his tenure, the applications to the FBI has in fact tripled? Do you think people would be applying to that agency like in those numbers if they thought it was so corrupt?
The American public's trust in it is at 40%. That's an all-time low.
Did you say that the FBI headquarters should be shut down and reopened as a museum of the deep state?
Mr. Chairman, are we allowed to go an extra time?
Let's see, you get a second round. Before I call on Senator Lee.
Could he just answer the question if he said that the FBI headquarters, where they investigate cybercrime and terrorism, should be shut down and opened as a deep state?
Hey, Mr. Chair.
As a museum. Did he say that the headquarters should be shut down?
Mr. Chair.
I deserve an answer to that question. He is asking to be head of the FBI, and he said that their headquarters should be shut down.
Mr. Chair, parliamentary inquiry.
You got anything you want to say, Mr. Patel, before I go on to Senator Lee?
Simply this. If the best attacks on me are going to be false accusations and grotesque mischaracterizations, the only thing this body is doing is defeating the credibility of the men and women at the FBI. I stood with them here in this country. In every theater of war we have, I was on the ground in service of this nation. And any accusations leveled against me that I would somehow put political bias before the Constitution are grotesquely unfair. And I will have you reminded that I have been endorsed by over 300,000 law enforcement officers to become the next director of the FBI. Let's ask them.
Mr. Chairman, I am quoting his own words from September of 2024. It is his own words. It is not some conspiracy. It is what Mr. Patel actually said himself. Facts matter.
You forget that you had 3 minutes in the next round to say what you just said.
Okay, I'll say them again.
As we draw this series of hearings to a close, the American people must take a moment to understand the full scope of what has been discussed and why it matters to every citizen in this nation. What we have witnessed is more than a debate over individual cases, statements, or actions. This is a fundamental conversation about the integrity of our institutions, the rule of law, and the principles that safeguard democracy itself. First and foremost, the issue of justice and the rule of law sits at the heart of these discussions. Weaponization of justice, the idea that prosecutions or investigations could be influenced by personal vendettas, political rivalry, or partisan pressure, strikes directly at the foundation of public trust. Americans deserve to know that no one, not the president, not political operatives, and not even the most powerful officials, is above the law. Every prosecutorial decision, every indictment, every investigation must be grounded in evidence and merit, not in political preference or animosity. When those principles are compromised, the very legitimacy of our justice system is at risk. Throughout these hearings, multiple concerns have been raised about political influence, whether in directives from high office, discussions surrounding grand juries, or statements made about public officials. These are not trivial matters. They shape the perception of fairness and accountability across the nation. They remind us that oversight, transparency, and reform are not optional. They are essential. Legislation to codify protections against political interference, ensure transparency in charging decisions, and preserve the integrity of grand juries is critical. These reforms are about more than politics. They are about safeguarding democracy itself. Equally important is the discussion about the safety and integrity of our law enforcement institutions. The men and women of the FBI, the ATF, the DEA, U.S. Marshals, and countless other agencies operate every day in the most challenging conditions, risking life and limb to protect the American public. They deserve leaders who respect their mission, their sacrifices, and their commitment to truth and justice. We've heard testimony highlighting both the accomplishments and challenges faced by these agencies, from counterterrorism efforts and cybercrime investigations to combating violent gangs and organized crime. Even amid extraordinary political pressures and the strain of government shutdowns, these professionals continue to serve with dedication. Public trust in law enforcement is fragile, and statements questioning the integrity of these institutions or suggesting that they are corrupt or part of a deep state risk undermining morale and public confidence. Leadership matters, and the men and women who protect our nation deserve leadership that strengthens, not weakens, the institutions they serve. The hearings have also highlighted issues impacting children and vulnerable populations, from the dangers posed by social media exploitation, human trafficking, and online predation, to the illegal gaming industry targeting youth, and the infiltration of vaping products laced with illicit substances. The threats are real and growing. Protecting the next generation requires a coordinated effort between law enforcement, legislators, parents, and the private sector. Social media companies, for instance, must be held accountable for allowing dangerous content to proliferate, while parents must remain vigilant in monitoring their children's activity online. These are not abstract concerns. They are matters of life and death for some families, and the urgency cannot be overstated. Legislative tools, stricter regulations, and proactive enforcement are all necessary to ensure our children grow up in a safe and secure environment. In addition, hearings have addressed the rise of anti-Semitism and hate crimes across the country. As we commemorate anniversaries of tragic events and reflect on the experiences of affected families, it is clear that combating hate is a national priority. Efforts like the formation of anti-Semitism task forces and civil rights divisions dedicated to addressing these crimes are vital. Justice must be swift, impartial, and uncompromising in protecting all communities, reinforcing the promise that no one is above the law and that every citizen can live without fear of violence or persecution. Public trust also extends to broader societal issues, including healthcare, voting rights, and the protection of federal employees. Families facing skyrocketing health premiums, citizens concerned about access to voting records, and federal employees affected by government shutdowns all represent the tangible impact of policy and leadership on everyday life. These hearings have highlighted that partisan politics cannot overshadow the responsibility to safeguard essential services, ensure fair access to elections, and maintain the social contract that binds our country together. Finally, what ties all these issues together is the principle of accountability. Whether discussing potential political interference, the safety of our children, the integrity of law enforcement, or the fairness of elections, accountability is the common thread. It is the assurance that our institutions operate based on law and evidence, that leaders are held responsible for their actions, and that citizens can trust the system to protect them rather than serve partisan interests. Without this, public confidence erodes, and the very fabric of democracy is at risk. In closing, these hearings remind us of the profound responsibility we all share to uphold truth, fairness, and the rule of law, to protect those who safeguard the nation, from law enforcement officers to federal employees, to ensure that children and vulnerable populations are shielded from exploitation and harm, and to combat hate and injustice wherever it exists. The message is clear. America must remain a nation where justice is impartial, institutions are trusted, and leaders act with integrity. Oversight, reform, and vigilance are not optional. They are essential to preserving the democratic ideals that have defined this country for over 2 centuries. Today's discussions, though complex and at times contentious, underscore a simple truth. The stakes are too high, and the responsibility is too great for anything less than unwavering commitment to the principles of justice, fairness, and public service. The American people deserve nothing less, and it is incumbent upon all of us to ensure these principles endure now and for generations to come.